31st and Ridgeway was my dad's like super hangout. He was over there all the time. All I know is that these were the toughest hippies in Chicago. Stories were told, they were feared by many. Let's get into this video.
Cartel got me working for the big faces. Federale got my car full of brick cases. Hit the pen with a grin, there ain't no faking. I was picked to my back for my shoelaces. Got out, should've seen the look on they faces. All jealous cause your boy stacking hella paper. Set up by the crew, they done put a banger in the trunk of my car and left me to hang there. No thing, then attorney went and beat the case. Got a job digging holes for minimum wage. Had a dream that Kato said he proud of me. Stay here, don't leave, keep doing your thing. Quit the drugs, but you know I went back to selling, 6-time failing. I went back to prison, got my head right, got my bread right. Push these weights like a kilo in a tailpipe. Trying to do right, I got a mission. Trying to give back to my boys in the prison. The old me's gone, I ain't never.
Hey, what's up guys? My name's JC. I am Wrong Strong. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss nothing. If you're part of my crew, mi familia, mi raza, Little Village, Pilsen, South Side, West Side, North Side, Humboldt Park, stand up, súbanse a la suburban. We about to take a ride. We're going to Little Village, guys, sorry. You know, I've been waiting to do this one because I heard stories throughout my whole childhood from my dad. My dad was a big time hippie. Liked to drink, smoke weed, get high, and fight. One of his best friends was actually a Ridgeway Lord. Ridgeway Lords were founded in 1966 in Little Village. Their colors, black and dark blue. Ethnicity, is that how you say it? Ethnicity. They were mostly white at the beginning. They always accepted Mexican, Latino members. Their signs were a cross, 3 slashes, a shield, a lion, a playboy. Back in the day, a lot of the gangs were using a lot of similar gang affiliation stuff. It wasn't until more into the 80s or when the tabla was made that people started actually sticking to, you know, the one thing. Whether that's a lion, you know what I mean, that whole gang shit. The Ridgeway Lords are extinct. They are nowhere to be found. They're not around no more. But back then, they were really tight with the Land Kings. And through the 60s and 70s, the Ridgeway Lords were actually one of the biggest gangs in Little Village. They were known for being, like I said, like fearless. I told you, my dad was rocking the long hair, those big ass shoes with the bell bottoms, and this is how, you know, they were gangbanging. They were known to be fearless hippies, throwing parties, fights, and actually, in Chicago, they were feared by many. They were mostly white, like I told you at the beginning, always letting Mexican members come in. But by the 70s, this is the time that my dad started hanging out with them into the 60s and 70s. And the 70s is when one of his best friends got killed. By the 70s, the Lords were mostly all Mexicans. By 1972, war broke out in Little Village with a new powerhouse that was coming into the scene. The 2-6. The 2-6 were recruiting fast and they were growing in Little Village. So they went to war with the Ridgeway Lords. No little fact though, the Ridgeway Lords were the first gang to start war with outside gangs. And I think that caused a classic to happen all the time, because now it happens. People drive from the south side of Chicago into the north side just to go gangbang with a certain group. And the Ridgeway Lords were the first ones that were doing this because they would actually like to go drink at the bars in Cicero. And a lot of the Cicero gangs were not happy when they were coming in. Cicero was very controlled back then. A lot of Italians, the cops, everybody, the whole city was controlled by organized crime. And there was gangs that were there that had ties to organized crime. The 12th Street Players, Noble Knights, you know, all predominantly white gangs, tutu boys that were in the area, and they didn't like for outsiders to come into their hood to start trouble. So they went to war with them. I don't know why, but my dad used to always talk about it. The Ridgeway Lords would love to go to Cicero to drink, hang out the bars. You know, there's a lot of bars over there. This made war with all the Cicero gangs and the cops. But for some reason, they never tried to set up shop in Cicero. They never colonized it, and never tried to start a branch. I don't know, it was... A lot of gangs in those times were trying to go into Cicero, but since Cicero had a lot of ties to organized crime, and a lot of the cops used to be, trust me, a lot of those Cicero cops used to be either Noble Knights, tutu boys, or a 12th Street Player back then. It was all connected, all of it. And if you think I'm lying, you'll see soon when I fly to Chicago and I interview a couple people that are very, very connected, but they changed their life around and they're doing positive things now. By 1976, war broke out with the Land Kings. So the Ridgeway Lords actually teamed up with the Tutu Boys, the SDs, and the 2-6. And they actually became folks that year. By the 80s, the numbers were going down. They weren't recruiting nobody, and a lot of their dudes were doing prison time or were addicted to drugs. I mean, let's be honest. They were doing a lot of hardcore drugs, and it's one of the biggest downfalls in an organization is having their members addicted to drugs. By 1988, war broke out again in Little Village, this time with the 2-6. The 2-6 were growing. They started recruiting people like wildfire. They got very organized and started recruiting, and they grew very, very fast, taking over half a Little Village. Back then, the SDs had one block. I believe it was on 27th and Kaminsky. I know they had one block over there. This is where Spike, Oso, and Mars and all them were from. But when they went to war with the 2-6, everybody moved away from there, and that's how the SDs got big. They used to hang out with the Ridgeway Lords and stay together. But when war broke out, war, now the Lords had to pick a side. Some Lords actually turned SDs, some turned 2-6. And a small group, it said that they stayed like banging in the area, but not claiming any hoods or no sets. They just stayed in the area banging with the Land Kings. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. The Ridgeway Lords left some pretty big shoes to fill. They were some tough-ass gangsters, and they fought some of the meanest gangs in Chicago. But at the end of the day, drugs, prison, murder destroyed them. They were not ready to grow as fast as they did, and a lot of their members fell victim to that, doing life terms or being addicted to drugs. There's many, many ways a gang can fall apart, or organizations. That's life in Chicago, and this is gang life. I know it's bad out there, you know, back home. I know that there's shootings, there's a lot of stuff happening. But you need to wake the fuck up and actually know that this has been happening for a very long fucking time. It just didn't start happening. This has been happening since I was a kid. You tell me what kid watches this best friend die in front of him from a gunshot wound when you're in 7th and 6th grade. We do live in a tough city. We do live in a gangster-ass city. We do live in a city that has bad areas. But we do live too in a beautiful fucking city. We live in a city that creates motherfucking winners. Gangster-ass motherfuckers that live that life, got out, have a business, have their house, have their family, and they changed. All I'm saying is that it might take a little bit of time, but it's not impossible. We can make this shit fucking happen. I've been leaving the link over and over again for the fundraiser for the Wrong and Strong facility. We're at about 1,500. Thank you to everybody that donated. Thank you for wanting something different, wanting to change. Because if we keep doing the same shit, we're never gonna change and we're never gonna make a difference. The link's below. If you wanna donate, stop talking, be about it. Remember, I'm doing all this shit on my own. I didn't get to have no grants. I didn't get to have nothing. Why? Because I'm a convicted felon. That's why. So it's gonna take all of you guys to help me be able to lift this dream up, because this is not just for me. It's not even for me. It's not even for us. It's not even for you. It's for our kids. Give them a fucking chance. My name's JC. I am wrong strong. Don't judge nobody. Stay in your lane. Live savage. And remember, you have one life to live. Live it out here free. Not gangbanging. Not doing drugs. Be happy. Be blessed. Fuck, I'm on the road today.